Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Jason Hunt here, inviting you to join us every Saturday morning for news. The week's headlines in science fiction, fantasy, horror, comic books, video games, plus Comic-Con updates and the weather, and the occasional interview along the way. We call it Good Morning Multiverse. We hope you join us every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, right here on Sci-Fi for Me TV.
Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content. Tune in and subscribe to Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
We've all read the story. The brave hero conquers the diabolical villain and rescues the damsel in distress. But this is real life, and in real life, stories don't always have happy endings. Frog G, the story of a man turned into a frog by a voodoo priestess sent on a mission to kill a god by death itself. Now our hero must roam the underworld to regain his humanity and win back the woman he loves.
Hi, I'm Leanne, aka LK Ingino, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm a writer, poet, singer, and all-around creative person with too many ideas and too little time, and I bring unique, bizarre, and entertaining worlds to life. I'm coming back to Kickstarter with Fangs and Foul Play Issue 2. If you've ever thought that your cat is truly the one running things, you should check out Fangs. As a vampiric cat, Fang truly has a thrall over Richard. In Issue 2, we continue to follow Richard as he tries to escape Fang's control. Fang, of course, has other plans, and now the constable is starting to notice the missing people. Fangs and Foul Play is a story of horror, justice, and of course, a vampiric cat. It's full of sarcasm, a gorgeous Victorian setting, light horror, And of course, the adorable, yet feisty, Fang. This PG-13 light horror comic is perfect for anybody who loves good guys who are forced to do bad things. And of course, if you love vampires, cats, Sabrina, the Addams Family, or What We Do in the Shadows, then this is right up your alley. Fangs and Foul Play issue 2 is completely done and ready to go to print. I'm coming to Kickstarter to fund a large print run so that you and many others like you can experience the world of Fangs in your hands. On Kickstarter, you'll have first access to the comic. Goodies such as an adorable sticker for anyone who backs on day one at a physical tier level, which you can also get as an add-on if you come in later. And you'll get a first crack at the variant covers by Evan Scale, Renzo Podesta, and Abby Butler. Plus, included digital and physical goodies depending on which tier you back at. Creating entertaining stories and characters is my passion and joy. And I believe we all need a little escape from the mundane. So please join Bloodville today by backing Fangs and Foul Play on Kickstarter. Thank you so much for your support. Fang can't wait to be part of your household. And don't forget, you can download a digital copy of issue 0 for free at bit.ly/fangsfoul. And who are these characters behind me? Glad you asked. These are the Headless Gnomes mascots, Indrian and Autrian. And don't worry, no gnomes were hurt in the making of this video.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Ms. LK Ingino. Welcome. First time on the show, and I have not seen you in the indie circles, and this is your third book already. So
Second.
I'm counting 0.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Well, they were one Kickstarter though, so it's my second.
okay. So there's your second Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But I have no idea how you even found me. Because you reached out via email.
I got a list. Some of it was Uh-oh.
You're still here.
That was
You froze for a second, but you're still here. Well, now you're frozen for longer than a second.
Oh, I can hear you, but I can't see you. Hold on one
That's
second.
interesting. I'm looking at a video
am going
replay, and
in.
I'm moving, so that seems to be working okay. It's like
My
jazz
monitor went
hands.
black, so that was new.
Oh, yeah, your monitor went black, and the image that we
Oh,
had
okay.
here of you
Oh.
froze completely. Are you on an Apple?
I'm
Are you on some kind of iOS platform? Oh, this looks weird. Yeah, okay. This is there's left me and there's right me, and LK will be right back. So I'm not even going to take the stream down. I just want to perfectly bifurcate my face, and we'll just wait for her to pop back in, because this is a book you guys are going to want to see, and it is just shy of $250 of making the goal on this one, and you know, it's got everything. If you're on the internet, you're gonna like vampires, and you're going to like cats. So this is the book you're gonna want to get to. Okay, you're moving again.
yes, first time for everything. My Chrome just completely died in the middle of our thing. So instead of opening all my various browsers, I opened only this one, which still has a lot of windows, but hey.
Yeah, this is
That's less.
this is a fairly new machine, and when I bring up StreamYards, I'm like, close.
Mhm.
Don't
I'll
want
have
to
to
have
think of
anything
that for
drawing
next time,
out.
but yeah, no. First time that's happened, so.
Are you on an Apple product?
Mm-mm.
No. Oh,
No.
well.
This PC, I probably put it together like 5-6 years ago though, so it's getting there.
You put it together? That's I buy them ready made. I'm envious of people like Henry Cavill, who put up pictures of themselves putting together their homemade custom machine and know what they're doing.
I kind of know what I'm doing, and X showed me once, and then since then I've mostly done it. And then there's a couple steps that always terrify me, and I'm like, okay, if we mess this up, bye all my money. Because it's like,
I don't mind plugging things into ports. It's like when they say, okay, now install the software. I'm like, if this isn't like click OK and walk away for 3 hours, I'm gonna be lost.
The software is the easy part. It's putting in the processor because you can like yeah.
Well, just don't let the smoke out of the chips, because I believe it or not, I have an IT degree, 2 of them, and the double ET folk were always telling me how these processor chips run on smoke. If you don't believe it, let the smoke out of one of them, and it won't work anymore. It's a fact. It just happens all the time. The chat is gathering around us. Why, I don't know, because I'm just talking about meandering around IT stuff. Pops Van Zant's out there. Hey, yo, Pops.
I know computers are nerdy, right?
Yes, absolutely. We're all nerds in geek culture land here. It's the time. It's the decade of the geek. Thank you, Mike, for sharing the stream. We want to get this one out here because, like I said, I've not seen you in the crowdfunding circles, which isn't to say I'm all that cosmopolitan, but
there's
I
lots
get
of
around.
us, so you know.
Yeah, so we're glad that you found us, however it was, and hopefully we'll have a decent enough interaction that you'll want to come back for the next book.
Well, I like that I'm in a comic strip right now. That's kind of cool.
I this place I'm sitting at right now is also where I put in my 8 hours a day job thing, and it got kind of data crunchy. I work with data science, and I was going to do what I try to do is take one of the panels and excise it and replace it with one of the panels from your book in this instance. So a panel here from Fangs.
Yeah.
But I didn't make it. so we're stuck with the generic.
There's enough previews on the page, so.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about Fangs and who he is and where this idea came to you from. I want to, I always want to ask first how you got into comics. As both a fan and as a creator.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, high school looks like it was just like 2 years ago for you, so it's probably not that long of a story.
Thank you. And a little longer than that. So I started reading a lot of manga like in college, and then got into comics after that. It was there was some overlap, and I don't know. They're very expensive hobbies because I like to buy physical products, and so it's hard to keep up with stuff nowadays. When I worked at a bookstore, I got a nice discount, and
dream job.
Yeah, but there are benefits to having a higher paying job now. It's just that I don't have that book discount, so trade-offs, right? But I mean, also dangerous being surrounded by all the books, and then so ups and downs.
I worked in a comic book shop when I was in college. I found out what the minimum amount of money I could spend on macaroni and cheese and ramen was, because I had to feed the beast.
Right.
had to have it.
So there was a little bit of overlap with manga and comics, and nowadays I'm mostly reading indie comics. I mean, I love manga. It's just it gets expensive if you're buying the books one by one. And I think one of the first books I probably read was Fathom. It's I don't know that I remember the exact first book, but that one really called to me with the art and the mermaids and all that stuff. So, mermaids, whatever.
Yeah, Michael Turner's
Underwater
book.
people. Yeah. And then I've always liked Batman, but I never had gotten in because, it was just kind of where do you start? So I think I started with some graphic novels before I started going into individual comics, because that's definitely an easier entry point. Yes. It's okay, here's a complete book. I can read the book. It kind of, except for some of them that actually have 10 books and they all cross over. So.
Yeah. With Batman, I always, if somebody's not read Batman, it sounds obvious, but I always say, here, read Batman Year One. No, it's not the first. It's a lot of stuff happened before this, but it's a baseline.
Yeah,
for the
character. Good entry point. Yeah.
But you bring up a good point there, because a lot of people, they don't know where to start reading the comics at, and it's why should there be a point where you have to go to move forward? Jim Shooter, when he was the editor at Marvel Comics, he had the rule that every comic is somebody's first comic. Make it accessible from page 1 of whatever issue number it is.
Right.
We got away from that. I don't know if it's because of our long form storytelling that we enjoy now, or
Which makes me think, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't really do a recap in issue 2. I mean, I'm only 2 issues in, so it's not like there's that many before it, but
It's only issue 2 though. I mean, it's not like, in issue 30.
500 or something.
Yeah. When you're up at like, higher numbers, you shouldn't maybe have to know what happened in number 1. You read a page of like, oh, there's a cat, it's a vampire, this guy works for him. Okay, I got it. Here's the story. And that's what, of course, is happening in issue 0, which is part of the catch up on this. How did you get into the creation of comics? Why did that what insanity infected you to make you think this was a good option?
Yeah, it's I pay my artists, so it's the money's flowing that way right now. Eventually, hopefully, it'll flow a little bit back this way. So I've always loved writing though, and I actually have a poetry book out. I have not gotten to the point of completing a novel. Lots of like first starts, nothing done. And comics, it's not that they like don't take time, but I can definitely write a script a lot quicker. So, I mean, I still gotta like, I can do it in more chunks, like small chunks. I feel like than I can, like if I was gonna try to write a full novel.
Yeah.
So time wise, that kind of came to me first because I was like, oh, I can fit this in with my current work, and have the time and like get something out quicker than I can get out other things at this time. And my first piece was a short in Cthulhu is Hard to Spell 2. I was following Russell Nolte, and he put out his call for comics, and I kind of hadn't really thought about doing comics because I'm artsy, but not to the point where I'm going to be drawing my own comics, especially given that I can't figure out lighting at all. Like I can kind of tell when something looks wrong, but that's about it. So maybe I could flat. I don't know.
Oh no, I I wrote an 8-page short story for an upcoming anthology, and I had to do it on notebook paper with pencil in squares. And like I looked at it, I was like, I'm glad I'm not an artist, because it was stick figures with blocky legs, and what's that square at the end of that stick? That's his gun. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not an artist. Had a friend who was
pretty well.
That I could probably do. Yeah. I played that game, but I had a friend who was a graphic artist for a grocery company, designing cereal boxes and stuff like that. And he gave a presentation, said, anybody can learn what I do. And we all looked at him and said, yeah, no, no, we can't. He's like, you just have to learn the basics. Yeah, no, you have a talent. You're trying to cover it up.
I've taken like color theory classes and stuff like that, some basic graphic design, and there are points that you can learn, but like, it's kind of like me and like math. I just don't care enough.
Yeah, that's like, I have a problem with apathy. I just don't care about it. I'll fix it one of these days when I quit procrastinating. But so Fangs came to you in your head, and you're like, hey, he's a cat, and he's a vampire, which you're like, two of the top trending internet tropes of all time.
Yeah.
Why hasn't anybody done this before? Is the real question.
Yeah.
Because there's a mint to be made in this.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves. Well, there are definitely people rooting against him, but I don't know that anybody like doesn't find him cute. So.
Well, he is the villain. I mean, but in his defense, he's a cat.
And what else is he gonna do? Like,
yeah.
I mean, even like I don't know, human vampire is like almost a misnomer, but whatever. The human who was turned into a vampire. I mean, they still got to eat, or they're gonna die.
Yeah, it's self-preservation. Now, have we come to the point yet in your storytelling, even with issue 2, of finding out how this happened to him, or
not yet? No.
He just is. He's Catula.
Yes. Yeah.
He's okay.
And I haven't quite decided if that's going to be. It might be a small thing in the main comic, because I might end up like doing its own comic just for like that portion of like what happened before. I'm still deciding on that.
You don't ever really have to tell anybody how he became a vampire.
This is true.
Here's my rule about it: is like, if there's a mystery villain that first shows up in a comic, if you give him an origin with his first 5 appearances, fine. If you go past 7, never do it. Just, it's like Wolverine or the Joker. We don't want to know how it was. They came in, gave Wolverine an origin, and it just kind of ruined everything. They're trying to do the same, now with the Joker. I'm like, no, we kind of like this whole we'll never know kind of business.
I thought we kind of had the Joker though in the comics.
Yeah, I mean, we knew he was the Red Hood, but no one ever really knew who he was before he was the Red Hood.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's not just like an origin story. It's like, yeah,
like the full David Copperfield treatment.
Yeah,
I was born, and
right.
I'm going to
formative years
take
or something.
down the panels. Yeah, I just be the agent of chaos or whatever it is that you are, and never let anybody know. I'm going to take down the panels now, and we'll just sit here in front of Gothic old London. It's actually no city at all. Yeah. It's AI generated. Okay. I just said, give me a Victorian Gothic street scene, and there it was. Just so that I can bring up the campaign. This is Kickstarter, by the way, folks, which means that this number is going to auto update. Help me remember it right now, because I'm not going to have to refresh this. $37.59 out of 4,000. That is 221.
41.
231. Okay. Dang. 200. Okay. It's close.
It's close.
Real close. I think if 10 of you just went in there and got a $25 package, it would throw it over the $4,000 goal. 6 days to go. It's going to make it because, Kickstarter's the last couple of days is when everything comes back and spikes up. But it'd be real cool if I could say, funded on the Critical Blast Pod Blast show. So
I've been like I'm just like holding and waiting to like be able to announce stretch goals because but it's that I was gonna say you got 6 days.
Announce those stretch goals now.
Well, I don't want to like announce anything that's going to be like too far in advance. Like we're not gonna, it's like $12,000 stretch goal might be unlikely at this point in time.
Yeah. Pop. Yep. I am Pop's logistic guy, for those who don't know, and that basically means I lick envelopes and put stamps on things, and ship them out. So
I hate that part.
That's the part which I don't really mind as much because, well, I told you, IT data guy. I take all the data and massage it to where it's in chunks, so I don't have to look at the tiers. I don't have to look at the name and address. I just say, hey, 7 people ordered the book and the sticker. Make 7 book and stickers and call them all A. And it's just mindless. It's just, have Netflix on in the background and just repeat. When you're all done, say, okay, print all those labels. Oh, this one's an A. Oh, this one's a B. I don't know. I just do. It goes pretty quick, actually. Okay. Here is the book in question, Fangs and Foul Play. This is the cover for issue number 2. I like that he's sitting atop the spotlight. It's like it looks like you should be able to sit there, but that's a light.
Right. Yeah. Let's not poke too many holes in it.
Oh, well, no, it's art. It's art. You can do anything in comics and art, including sit on a bubble of light.
And be a vampire cat. I mean,
yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, this entire thing is a Batman homage.
It's X-Men.
Oh, the X-Men. That's right. I've seen this picture. The pictures in the back should have tipped me off.
Well, my editor helped me come up with the cover idea because I was drawing a blank. Wow, I don't know what to do.
He's like, look, hey, X-Men Days of Future Past is a lot of people have pulled on it. I even did it once for a show we did with a bunch of retailers, and I put all their pictures in the back.
Nice.
I don't know what I did in front, but it was something. You're not doing
two of the most of the people in the background are characters, but 2 of them were actually characters in the first issue.
Okay, so they're not people who have all the people who've died.
No, we haven't had that much death and mayhem just yet.
There will be a cemetery. I imagine it's going to fill up.
Cemetery, yes.
We're in week 4, by the way. So
We are, yeah.
backers are getting a bonus if you back this week. We've just entered it. So if you back from between now and the end of the campaign, you're going to get these digital comics free. Had to read. And I'm trying to say you get Mythic, Wild Mist, Modern Testament, This Land, and The Playground. Now, I'm guessing these are people you've networked with.
I'm part of Comics Lunch, so we have kind of an exchange there, and then I also reach out to people directly too.
So if you like your PDFs and you want to grow that collection, because hey, a hard drive takes up the same amount of space when you got one comic or 1,000 on it.
Right. Until you need to get that new hard drive.
Yeah. Well, I've got 2 terabytes sitting around here. I'm going to be good for a while, I hope.
Oh, no, I just filled. Oh, wait, did I fill my 1 or 2? I think I filled my 2.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Are you filling it with art?
Yeah, art and all the videos, the premiere videos for the Kickstarter, which I mean is not a lot, but then a lot of. I mean, I'm sure the Word documents don't take that much, but I have a lot of them. So, thousands. So, it just adds up,
Yeah, and they get hard to find. You almost want to have SharePoint running on it. Just say, search for this document and bring it back to me wherever it is. You're also doing a cross promotion with
Mary Shelley's School Monsters, right? Yeah. School 4 Monsters. And they're ending in about 3 days. So if you haven't backed them, you got to get in on theirs before it ends. You can still back Fangs afterwards. But you have to get on.
You won't get this physical print of the of the squirrel in the crystal ball thing. I like this. Dear Diary, the squirrel is back again today. That's exactly what a cat or a dog would be writing in their diary. By the way, folks, if you do want to back this, the link is right below the campaign. The link to the campaign is right below this video window. Click on it now. Takes you to the campaign. In another window, you won't leave the interview here. You'll get to still listen to everything we're going to say. Hang on every dulcet tone as you get your credit card out, if you don't already have it stored in your system, and pick a tier.
Okay, we're actually doing 2 right now.
2?
2 cross promos.
2 what?
Yeah. Oh, cross promos.
Oh, 2 cross promos. So you got this cross promo here, which is how does this one work?
This one is with the Destinations anthology. So it's just of Fang, but JL did the artwork for it, and I have a short in that anthology. So so we teamed up to do a cute little sticker.
So, yeah, I mean, stickers are one of the things we do love. It's I've got a whole table full of them here from different campaigns.
Yeah.
I used to be bigger on stickers than I was on magnets until my laptop died and I had to get a new one. And I realized that I had about 20 stickers on the back of that were gone.
Yeah.
Campaigns of days past. I'm like, you know what? I really like fridge magnets. My fridge goes out. I take the magnets off and put them somewhere else.
The only thing with the new fridges, though, is that you can't put the magnets on the front. So it's all I have very limited magnet space now.
Mine is limited only because my fridge comes up to my waist. I've got a little mini fridge here, but
oh yeah, that's probably not the same finish as the new ones. I was so confused when I stick something on it. Like, why isn't it sticking? What is happening?
That should be illegal. Fronts of refrigerators should not be non-magnetic.
Well, maybe they just want you to buy the ones with the tablets. So
yeah, the one in my work office is a constantly refreshing screen of stuff. Ugh. You slide it over and you write things on the notepad. I'm like, yeah, but I like the magnet. There's something nostalgic and traditional about the magnet on the refrigerator. It's how you hang your kids' artwork when they scribble something in the coloring book.
Yeah,
you got to have it. So the story takes place in the Victorian era, and Richard is walking away from the war? Is he a deserter? I mean, I haven't quite figured that out. I know he left the war, but
Yeah, it's I mean, it's said, but it's not like, shouted out. Because Fang does call him a deserter like once or twice, and that's kind of about all there is. We haven't really talked about it too much. It's going to be talked about more in the next issue, actually. So
Okay.
we're gonna get more of that backstory. But yeah, he was kind of running away, and that's why he's all ragged in issue 0. And obviously, he doesn't want anyone to see his army uniform, so that's put away now.
yeah. So what war are we talking about here? Because
It's a
he's in
fictional
England.
war. And
Oh,
it's a
okay.
it's a fictional place in a fictional war because I didn't want
It's
to.
the war.
Yeah, it's the war. Yeah,
Okay.
that
It's
one.
like, it's like the one Captain America fought in the Marvel Comics cinema universe. It wasn't World War II because
Right.
Tony Stark's father was there, and Tony Stark would be like 80
Mm.
if that were the case. I know we haven't got to the artwork pages yet, folks. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but
There's
you
a
have
lot
a
of stuff,
theme
yeah.
song.
We do,
How
yes.
how'd you come up with a theme song for a comic book?
I've seen a couple people doing it. Oneshi Press, who did the Destinations anthology, they have, well, they don't do one for each anthology, but they have one like for all their anthologies. And then I've seen some people have one for individual comics. So I just got their contact and yeah, got the theme song. So.
I would play it, but I would get a copyright notice from YouTube because it probably exists in somebody else's video somewhere now.
That is probably, yeah.
As we scroll here,
Yeah,
folks,
it's
notice,
YouTube's weird like that.
It is. I had the first theme song I had was public domain music. 32 seconds, public domain music.
Mhm.
Worked great until suddenly I started getting claims. I'm like, what the heck? So I tracked it back to who was claiming it and what song they said it was on. It was on some rap song. Like, what? I listened to the rap song all the way through, all 3.5 minutes. I want that back. And I was like, it's not in there at all. And I noticed that there was like still an inch left of the tracking bar on the video at the end. It was like silence, 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 silence. And then all of a sudden, there was my theme song, my public domain theme song, tacked onto the end of a copyrighted song. I was like, you bees. Because what they were doing was they were skimming people's public domain use for the ad money because it's in a copyrighted song now. They used it in it. I was like, so that's the trick. I don't need to make videos. I just need to put one up and let everybody else make it. Yeah, music for comics, Mr. Yanafui. Indeed. Mr. Yanafui knows a thing or two about making videos and music. He puts out some great comedy memes of folks within the crowdfunding scene.
Oh, nice.
Underneath the song here, folks, as you're scrolling, because I know you're on the page with us here, you've linked to it. You can download the free digital copy of issue 0 and just get the baseline of who's who and what's going to happen here. And if you own a cat, you're like, well, duh, yeah. That's exactly how it goes. So here's where we are in issue 2. Now, who is your artist on this? Because you're not drawing this yourself, right?
Correct. Yeah. The artist is Alex Gunther. He is located in Brazil, and our colorist is Miriam Yasser, who is located in Egypt.
It's a global network of creators. I love this. Everybody who, that's one thing I really love about this indie renaissance that's hit crowdfunding, is that all these people who are talented that you would never ever see in the mainstream, because let's face it, they've only got so many desks they can sit people at. They're only publishing so many titles. Now, between crowdfunding and print on demand, digital printing, there's nothing stopping anybody who has the modicum of talent to create the dream that they want to have out.
Well, and with just, there's definitely been more of a resurgence of, working from home and virtual networking and stuff like that. I mean, it's not like we couldn't reach out to people on the internet 20 years ago, but I feel like it's maybe over the last decade becoming even more prevalent.
Yeah. I mean, the last 20, you're talking to a guy who was already a grown adult with children when the internet was introduced, and you've had it all your life. Like,
oh gosh,
back in the day, we had to dial people up.
Oh no, I had dial up, but
You're
man, was
familiar
it
with
middle
the whistle
school or was
tones,
it with the what?
with the whistle tones of a dial-up
Yeah,
modem.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We always had computers. I don't think. Man.
I've always had computers
Hmm.
since I got out of college. I mean, high school was see, junior year of high school was when they introduced the Apple II as a big new thing, and we were
Mhm.
writing code on it. But, and then I went to school for it. Huge mistake. But so Richard's out here. He's building stuff. He's building stuff for the cat because that's what his job is now.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen, because we're ahead of the game here. Those who haven't read issue 0, haven't downloaded it yet. Richard finds the old abandoned house, goes in, finds a bed, lays down, as you know we will do in an old abandoned house when we're running from a war. And Fang just kind of leaps on his chest, as a cat will do to anybody sleeping on a bed, and then bites him in the neck, which turns him into his thrall. He didn't drain his blood. He didn't change him into a vampire. He just Richard is Fangs Renwick. Is it Ren? Yeah, I hope I got that right. It's been a long time since I read it.
Sounds right.
I want to say I can't remember who Dracula's crazy.
It sounds
Well,
close enough, if not.
Yeah. We'll call him Renwick for this. Not like I can't Google and Renfield. Renfield. I'm sitting here going, Renwick, Penfold, what was it? Oh, Penfold was Danger Mouse. So anyway, he's building stuff here, and he's like, thinking like, no more large meals now for the cat. I'm tired of blah blah blah. Of course, the cat's in the house and can hear him. he's in his head, and Richard's already at the point where he's like, I can't keep burying these large people. You're eating too much. It's getting to be a full cemetery, and all it takes is a look and a raised eyebrow, and I'm guessing that he's getting an ice cream headache right here.
Yeah.
So,
we talk about that in issue 1.
So obey the cat or pay the price. I like the aesthetic. It's all realism mixed with this cat that's almost realism, but is more like Salem from Sabrina. He's
but evil.
So. Yeah, but evil. But I mean, in the style of his drawing, he's
right.
A little anthropomorphic, a little cartoony. So it's which is cool because it gives him the ability to be expressive, which he wouldn't be able to do otherwise if he were drawn to be a realistic cat. I also like the fact that, and again, this is something you never have to explain, but being a vampire cat allows him to talk, or at least mentally, telepathically project. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got he can speak to people if he just thinks it.
Yeah, but only well, we kind of talk about it in issue 1. It's only like people he would be like linked to. Like,
okay.
It's not just like any old person. He can talk to them.
So he can talk to Richard in a crowd and nobody else is going to hear him.
Yeah, they actually hear him meowing, which is like really annoying for Richard because he hears both.
Oh, great. But Richard's got to he's got to be thinking of a way out of all of this. And I'm not sure he's gonna. I mean, he can't kill the cat because the cat will kill him first. And I just that's not everywhere. That's just in that. Just sometimes the cat's word balloons look like a cat.
Yeah, it's whenever it's like the first time on that page.
Like dialogue tags where you have to say the person's name once in the paragraph and then you can go to pronouns afterwards.
Right.
I dig it.
Because it's a large. It takes up a little bit more space on the art with that. It's cute.
It
but-
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Richard just kind of walked into the house and nobody's questioned it. I mean, the people in the town are like, "Oh, you live there now."
They kind of questioned it in the first one, and it hasn't come back around to that yet. That's gonna come back around kind of soon.
It's not like people have, can you show me the mortgage paperwork, the property
Yeah.
tax?
I think he did. They did ask him, and he said like, it was like his cousins or something like that. I don't remember what relative it was because it wasn't. When I come back to it, that's when I have to worry about again and make sure that.
Yeah, 'cause you would think the people in the town would know who lived in the house before.
Right. Well, it's
and-
been abandoned for a very long time, which was also talked about in the first issue. So like nobody really has the paperwork on it, basically.
Oh, okay. But the cat's been there presumably a while.
The cat's been there a while. Yeah.
Um,
I think
and
it's like
Richard
80.
is been there not very long, but long enough to, gain the attentions of the lovely town
Mhm.
debutante, Delilah. So there's a love interest now. And he's got to not let her in because the cat's hungry.
Yeah.
And the cat's threatened her to Richard. But, yeah, you don't do what I want. Delilah looks delicious. Ooh, that's almost alliterative. I didn't mean it to be. But so the first issue when you crowdfunded that, how did that meet your expectations as far as the goal you set and what you actually achieved at the end of the campaign?
We did really good. I always like over project on what I want to do for stretch goals, but I wasn't in any way surprised that we didn't make all of them because I had a lot. I had a lot. So
Oh yeah. So some people have stretch goals and other people have dislocation goals.
dislocation goals.
Yeah, you throw your shoulder out to get
Oh.
that.
Yeah, no, we did overfund. So we got a couple stretch goals. And then I do backer kit afterwards. And so that got a couple more. So that was really nice.
Okay, good. Well, that's what we want to have happen. We want to get this goal met and surpassed so that, you have money to come back and do issue 3. Should there be a need for issue 3? I haven't even asked what is the arc on this? Is this ongoing? Do you have a specific ending in mind?
I do. This arc is going to be about 4 issues, and I'm planning on about 4 or so arcs of somewhere between 4 to 6 issues each. I haven't gotten that detailed into the next ones just yet to know if they're 4 or 6 but that's kind of like my goal.
So ongoing, but trade paperbackable.
Yeah.
Are you going to do the collected editions?
Yeah, that's my plan. Is that after this one there will be the first trade, and then so on and so forth.
Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier that you have studied art and you are an artist. Are you going to be doing any of the art for
I actually did a cover on the first one. It was a lino print, which was fun, but really time consuming. So I don't know that I'm going to be doing that often, So I don't know, maybe I'll do like a sticker or something like that one day, but I'm not going to be doing a whole issue.
Did you say it was a line art print?
Oh, a lino print. You carve the linoleum thingy and then
Yeah. I've got a friend, Troy Reiser, who's a fine artist who has done that. And that's why I heard the term. I'm like, wait, did she say line of print or did she just say line art print?
Oh yeah.
The old man going deaf here. So you carved and stamped.
Yes, and I liked the carving part, not the stamping so much. So.
But that is cool. How many? What's the staying power of one of these linoleum stamps? Because as you keep using it, of course, you're going to start losing the detail.
I'm not sure because I haven't used it that much. So I don't know how long they last. I know that there are people doing it who can do like hundreds of prints. I don't know if I've seen anybody doing thousands. And some of these people do way more detailed. So I imagine that's going to run down a little faster because mine was not as detailed. It was a very large fang, couple small details, and like the moon. And
there you go.
Yeah.
I get, people have done the woodcut for centuries. I don't know whose idea it was to say, hey, here's a spare tile of linoleum. Hey, I'll just start cutting it, and then I'll say, hey, I want to turn it into a stamp. But it's a thing. You can go to Hobby Lobby because I when I knew he was doing them and it was Christmas and I was shopping for things, I went to Hobby Lobby. Like there was a block of linoleum tile specifically for this. I'm like, there we go, ship that there.
And it's not
put it
like your
down.
kitchen, linoleum. It doesn't look the same
Yeah,
as
it's
that.
not
In
the
case
floppy
anybody hasn't
square.
seen it. Yeah.
It's more like the bathroom stone tiles that you would like mosaic into place one at a time.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be interesting. Carve them first and then put them in the bathroom. That would hurt your feet. Never mind. Don't do that.
Well, the linoleum's soft, but yeah, the stone.
You
Yeah.
stand in front of the sink brushing your teeth, and you go back in bed and somebody walks in and says, why is there a cat imprinted on the bottom of your foot? It's the tile I was standing on. All right, so we meet the inspirations, of course, for Fang. You've got 4 of them now.
I have 4, yeah. There's 3 there and then 1 below, and she's so cute, but she's a cute bully, so.
Oh, yeah. Territorial they do become. But I'm a cat lover myself. I don't own a cat, but there is a cat here.
Yeah.
It's technically belongs to the lady next door, but when I open my door in the morning, she runs right through my legs and inside, and I'm like, oh, you're cold. And I've got food for her, and she knows it. So she's waiting for me every morning before I leave, and I take it out there and I dump it, and she's, yeah, I'm done. But yeah, when she first got here, she was dumped, and she did not like me. She was mean. She pulled that trick that cats do, where they're like, oh, look at my belly. See my belly? Is my belly soft? You want to touch my belly? No, you can't, because she drew blood as soon as I did it. But now I pick her up and she cuddles under my chin and she's like, you're the guy who feeds me the good stuff.
But you don't try to pet her belly anymore, right?
No matter how often she shows it, she'll get out there and just like scratch around on her back. And I'll be like, yeah, when you're done, you come over here and I'll pick you up again and brush you off. But it's the only ones you can do that with are the ones you had since a kitten, because you have an arrangement with them then.
Yeah, I can kind of pick up two of them I found on the street. One is not shy and one is like really shy. So I only get cuddles when she wants them, pretty much. And then one of them I adopted, she was shy just from the get-go in the shelter, but just so cute. And our newest one she's not really a kitten, but she's still young, and so she's the one that we can pick up the most, and
So do you get them? You rescue them, and then do you spay them, or do you like we're gonna have more kittens at some point? Or
yeah, no. Well, the 2 from the shelter, the shelter requires you to spay them, and then the ones on the street, I did because I'm not dealing with that. No, I'm good.
I mean, the idea is cute, for kittens, but
well, and also I wouldn't end up getting them home, so it's
you can't give them up afterwards because they're just too darn cute. But I've been through the whole mama died and in delivery, and we've got these little rats that we're feeding with eyedroppers, and where do we get the milk? We got to get the special canned evaporated milk and mix it with water, and then for people who have not rescued and had to take care of kittens that don't have a mama, it's more than just feeding them. You've got to get that little wash rag, and you've got to you know what I'm talking about, right? You got to raise that tail, and you got to train the backside how to work. So yeah, it's all kinds of fun raising kittens, and I'd do it again if I had to, because I do love the cats. You have a large cast of characters here because there's a whole town of people.
There's and these are kind of our main. The top 3 are like our mains, and then
these are going to be the recurring ones, and everybody else is expendable.
Well, that's not to say anybody on there is not expendable. But.
True. Hopefully the top 3 here would not be. It would be a tragedy if something happened to Delilah, because that would really throw it into the world of deep horror for Richard, whom Fang calls Dick, because he looks at, yeah, you're a dick. Well, that's what I'm going to call you. I keep scrolling like I'm going to see artwork here of some kind, but it's not here.
No, it's just the preview pages. There's a cover. There's a cover gallery somewhere.
That's what I'm looking for. And I'll scroll back up here because I could scroll on the right side here, but I hate the way Kickstarter does that and nobody can see it. So I like that you've got the big pictures here. Let me get down here to the cover gallery. Scrolling. All day long we're scrolling. Okay, so here. This is the main cover of number 2. Now, folks, you can get the 0 and 1 packages here. There is a possibility to catch up. I want you to take advantage of that. But let's take a look at what's new. This is the first cover. Who's your artist on the main cover here? Is it the interior artist, I believe?
Yeah, because I always want to have at least one cover that's the art team, so it's the same style as the interior. Because that's one thing that drives me nutty is that sometimes I'll go to a Kickstarter and be like, oh man, this cover's so cool, and then I like see the preview and the interior art, and I'm like, it's not necessarily like bad, but they don't match at all, and I'm like, I really want this cover art though.
And sometimes they're like different. And sometimes there's disparity of greater proportion.
Yes.
Like, oh, wow, look at this photorealistic 3D color, and anatomically correct, beautiful pinup. And it's like, oh, stick figures with olives. Not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
This is cool here. I like what Abby Butler's done on this cover on
it's names on the top.
Oh, I'm reading. Okay, Evan. I love what Evan Scale has done with it. Here, get it down where I can read it more correctly. But the whole silhouette of the cat's head being made up by the people around it. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting motif. You've got the missing sign in there indicating the bodies are going away somewhere. Cover C from Renzo Podesta.
Little tiny Fang in the background.
Yeah, he's right there in the window. Says somebody's found the freshly dug grave. And then this is Abby Butler's cover. This is interesting because you got a lot of real estate on the cover to play with, and she leaves a lot of it empty for this sort of
kind of window.
It's almost like a Victorian doily.
We actually did it as a print first. And that was a watercolor that she scanned, and then so with the print there's a little bit less white space on the top because we don't need the title there, but obviously for the cover we need that to use that there. So
very good idea to have the name of the book on the front of the book. It
helps. I mean, I know virgin covers are a thing, but
I hate them because comic books generally don't have a spine where you can say, okay, well, it's on the side. I'll look there. No.
I mean, if it's a trade, then sure.
Yes. Throw it in there as a pinup or something. But I think now the virgin ones have actually started putting them down like the bottom corner along the spine.
Yeah.
So here are the tiers. You have a $1 tier where you can get a digital file to print out a cube of Fang. Mm-hmm. And I've got the paper necessary for that, the
thicker kind of
yes, color printer right here. I'm going to get myself a Fang, I think, and set up. I used to see people do this on their campaigns, and then it sort of went out of vogue. There are phases of what a stretch goal is going to be, and everybody starts doing it. The chibi stickers is a craze that everybody's into.
I don't know if that'll ever go away. I mean, you never know. It might.
It's been around a while, so I doubt it.
I mean, people have liked that chibi style for, whether it's a sticker or something else.
Yeah, and then like phone backgrounds, phone wallpapers, which is what you've got here on the tier 3. You got a lot on tier 3. You get the paper download just like you would for $1, but then you get music and the theme song, the backgrounds for your desktop, for your phone. And you'll get all the unlocked digital only goals. You have digital stretch goals. That's cool because a lot of times, the stretch goals are like hey, here they all are. But you have to have at least bought a physical product. To
Yeah, I would say the majority is physical because I mean it's much more fun to make a sticker, but there are a couple digital ones. So.
Yeah, and I having seen the sticker you did, I'm glad you're going with the die cut. You're
Yeah.
actually going to like a sticker agency, like Sticker Mule or Sticker
Yeah.
U or whomever. Because I've seen I've seen the things that's like, hey, we're gonna have a sticker, and here's this square piece with a circle, and I'm like, you went to Walmart and you ran these through your inkjet printer, and you printed your character in the middle. Okay, but not what I anticipated.
Yeah.
And sadly, that sticker is no longer on my table because, unlike the other stickers, it was not vinyl, it was not gloss coated, and you put something down on the table and it gets moist and it buckles and puckers and starts to peel off. So this is where the story comes into effect here. The digital catch-up edition,
I think there was one right before it. The 5 is the if you don't need to catch up.
Yeah, okay. I skipped from 3 and went right over to 5. So this is all the stuff that was in 3 plus the book. $2 for the book.
The theme song is actually only in that one tier, but there is it's an add-on. So,
well, go in there and add it on, folks.
Mostly, I wanted it to I wanted to bridge that gap there between the 1 and the 5. So, yeah.
How did you have any input on the theme song as far as like it needs to evoke a certain tone or just
and I mean I gave them my the comics, of course, because at that point I had 0 and 1, so we went with that. And I would say like the theme song is almost kind of just tells the story of issue 0, really.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I like theme songs that do that. Here's the story.
Yeah.
The man named Green. Just get the whole plot right there.
And I think we came up with like a couple song like comparisons, like, oh, this kind of feel and this, and
we're still in the world of the digital here, but the digital deluxe tier for $10, you'll get issue 2, you'll get the digital deluxe comics package. What is that? Is that all the books we saw?
No, that is a couple of short comics from me, and then some comics from my from Chuck Pino and Joel Rodriguez.
Okay. So, again, if you're a digital comics reader, and I know there are people in our chat who have to be, because, they work in the Yukon, seriously, on oil pipelines. They can't take their long boxes with them.
That would be
troublesome.
Yeah.
So they read their digitals. This would be the things you want to get. Finally getting into the world of the physical here, which is still going to come with a lot of digitals. You can get the physical main book for $15. Or you can get the physical print and the digital deluxe, which is, the extra PDFs for $20. Let's get to that physical print catch-up edition. This is the one that, is going to get a lot of focus because now you are in a position where you can get foul play. Wait a second. I don't think this reads right.
Oh, yeah, I said 0 through 2, not 0 through 1.
Yeah.
I wrote a typo. I made a typo.
It happens. I just want to make sure I didn't state it wrong. So you will get 0, 1, and 2.
Yeah, because I basically wrote 2 twice accidentally. Oops.
Yeah, that's okay. It's going to be the main copy. It's the main cover of all 3 of them, but they will be physical, $25, and you'll still get all this digital cool stuff. And then for the variant artists here, you've got to upcharge a little bit because you had to. Variant artists are usually people who are a little bit more in demand. You got to pay more for the art, so you got to spend more. You got to charge more to make it.
And there is a little bit of a printing increase on that too.
Yeah, because that's the danger for me, I think, of variant covers is not what you've got to pay the artist, but now you're competing with your own cover. So whereas you could have sold 100 copies of cover A, now you've sold 80 copies of cover A and 20 of cover B, and it's going to cost you just as much to print 20 of cover B as it is 80 of cover A because of how the printers work and switch things out. It's great if you get 100 of each, but those smaller print runs can really have cost rise up and bite you. Same for the Renzo Podesta cover. Same for the Abby Butler cover. I don't have to read all of these to you, folks. I'm going to hit some of the highlights. You're capable of reading, and by now you should have already found the tier you wanted while we were talking and thrown money at this thing.
I don't know if Kickstarter will take it that way, though. I think you have to actually put your card in.
Yes. Oh, when I say
that would be really interesting. Like, actually, then the computer takes the money. I don't know.
I should be clear about that, because there are people out there who think, it's bouncing right back at me when I say throw money at it. Yeah, put your credit card number in there or your PayPal card.
Whatever Kickstarter takes.
Yeah, whatever they take, just do it. Give them some digits.
Apparently,
now
you
this
can
is
do
limited
Venmo
to 20.
on Amazon now.
What's that?
You can do Venmo on Amazon now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They've never taken PayPal, but I've always used it because I just have a PayPal debit card.
Yeah,
I just
right. Yeah, because you
never know.
Yeah.
Now,
So there's I'm doing 100 of each of the variant covers, but each of them are offered in different tier levels, so I had to kind of make sure I'm not going to go over that.
Yes.
I don't think we actually have a concern of going over that right now, but just in case.
I thought maybe they were going to be signed or something. Or are you signing the books?
I will be signing the books. Yes. Well, yes and no. It's an option, and it's not a paid option. It's just an option. Some people don't want it signed, so
okay.
I don't want to sign. I'm not going to sign it. It's actually more work for me to figure out which ones are not going to be signed when I'm doing fulfillment.
Oh,
so it's actually easier for me to just sign them all.
Nightmare in fulfillment is when you have the same book that is the different book from the same book. It's like, what do you mean this is? Because then they're signed. I'm like, where? Because now you do have to look at names. Because if you had the same, you know how you set the things up, you put the item in, it gives it a SKU number. If you got that SKU in there and you're like, do you want it signed? It's still the same SKU.
I think there was a way in BackerKit to sort it. I know I did it. I don't remember how I did it, but I did it. Or maybe I did it after I exported it. I don't know. I did it somehow.
Well, what we do. I don't have a mouse in my pocket. It's all me. I say we, the royal we a lot. For the company. I'll look for that stuff and then I'll concatenate the fields together.
Yeah.
So I'll have a physical cover signed, yes. Physical cover signed, no, and then I can sort them that way.
Then I also asked them if they want it on the outside or inside cover. So
you evil.
Well, I'm only hurting myself. I mean, so
this is true. Because now I've got to open it up and look which one I got. Which would be okay if they don't seal them up in bags first. Then I'm going to open the bag. No.
Yeah.
No. Don't give these people ideas, okay? You just sign the books. 20 of the cover C with cover A, cover D for 20 of those. And then you can get all 4 of them. Yeah. Limited to 10. Only 10 of these available.
We might actually be close to that, maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked at that in a while. I know we've gotten some. I think we went too far, maybe.
No, not yet.
Oh, no,
it just
not yet.
looks that way because you got these long green blocks.
Yes. I have over information, so yeah.
No, that's good. That's good because you're very clear then about what people are getting. Basically, I passed by a lot of retailer tiers here.
Yes, there are 2 retailer tiers, a couple of retailer, a couple, I think 3.
So
yeah, that's the one.
Only 10. You got 4 of them. 6 are left.
Okay.
So there's room, folks. Drawn in. How many people have taken you up on that one? Nobody.
I think 3. So each of them is a different tier because I need to know where people want to be in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So the 2. So each one was 1 of 1. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can get drawn in into one of these frames here on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Or
it's a print. Yeah. It's a large print, so it's a good size.
Yeah, that's interesting. When you say large, you're talking about like 11 by 17 or size. Okay,
I
it's
sending
bigger
to?
than the comic book. You really do want to punish yourself in shipping, don't you? You're making things that won't fit in.
This one somebody else ships for me, so that's the only one that someone else ships for me. Well, no, that's not true. There's a light add-on, and that one I don't ship out. So
A light add. I got to see this light add-on now. What you're talking about? Light as in doesn't weigh that much, or like light. It takes batteries, and here's something that's going to light up.
it
And
takes
look like
batteries, and I don't know if I. Oh, hold on a second. It's not gonna reach.
you have one.
Like just barely doesn't reach. Does this have batteries in it? I think it has batteries. They might be dead. Let's see.
Is that one of those discs that lights up LED with a?
Yeah. Do I have
That's
a
cool.
thing? Oh, wait a minute. Is this? No, this is the wrong one, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, it is. That's not the same as my phone. I have too many cables and things here. I don't know what's what.
That is an item I have not seen people do. How difficult was that to get made?
This was one that Oneshi Press did as well, and it was a guy on Etsy who was doing it, and so obviously I had to get one for myself, of course.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think we only had one person get one last time, which didn't really make. Oh, there we go. But I don't know what to unplug. All right, I think I know what to unplug. I think this is my Bluetooth, which you don't need. Okay, you can still hear me, right?
I can still hear you. You haven't
cool.
You haven't unplugged the computer yet.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, although I can't get it. It's a very small cable.
Very short cord.
But my batteries are obviously dead because I think they're like a year old. So this is Fang's paw print.
Ah, okay, I see it. Yes.
He has a little scratch F in his paw print. So
Very nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that is something I have not seen any campaign do. That's a unique item. So always happy to be surprised.
Right.
Oh, and you have a $150 drawn in tier here for
yes,
whoever
that
wants
one
to take
is gone.
the John Hancock position of the print.
Yeah.
Okay, we've seen the tiers, we've seen the covers, we've seen everything. Is there anything we don't know about Fangs and Foul Play that I just haven't asked and you need to make sure people know about?
There's like a bunch of add-ons.
How do we
There's a
see the
graphic of
add-ons?
that too. It's a graphic of everything.
I need to grab the elevator.
Yeah, just do
bar.
that. That's easier.
Down.
There you
Okay.
go. There you go.
You can adopt a Fang.
You can adopt a Fang.
Okay, so
that's such a cute bookmark, honestly.
Nice.
It's you can't read it well in that, but it's like, oh, cat breed, cat, color, stuff like that. So temperament, which is not the greatest temperament, obviously.
You got the main characters on buttons here.
Mm-hmm. And you also can't see this too well there, but their hashtag, they say a little hashtag on them, so it's hashtag Team Fang.
Oh,
Team
okay.
Richard and Team Delilah. I'm stealing from Twilight for that, so.
Well, sure, you got to. You got to have T-shirts that say Fang and Richard and Delilah, and
yeah.
You need a fourth person. That's the only way those shirts work. You got the missing the missing people postcard and the Welcome to Bloodville postcard. Nice name for a town where a vampire is going to live.
It felt apropos.
Yeah. Feed me, Thrall. Double-sided bookmark. Another double-sided bookmark. 1.75, 1 3/4 inch button. It's bigger. Enthrall me. Nicely done. Clean up on aisle me. Just a bit of foul play. These are all stickers here that you can add on. These are big stickers, 4x4 stickers.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty good size.
No, I have these are the 3x3. These are the refrigerator magnets.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of give it some scale here. So 4 is another inch out. That's big stuff.
I think all the cutting around the die makes them like maybe more like 3.5 in some places, but then it's 4 at like the max, and
Yeah, the longest.
I wasn't gonna like measure like 6 different.
Yeah, no. They don't care. They just want to know the longest edge of anything because they're just gonna put it on the right side circle and they'll cut away.
Yeah.
You got the Fang looking smug on an acrylic keychain. Now I'm certain that you're going through Sticker Mule because you're getting all the
Not everything is sticker mule, but that is definitely sticker mule.
keep their fridge magnets in mind.
Yes. Yeah, I'm working on. Actually, I think the fridge magnet I'm doing right now is not through them, but the die cut one I want to do is because I have one that is a rectangle, and for that, there's better pricing elsewhere.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it can be the hard sort of non-flexible.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to go with the flexible.
Something like the Sunrise Blossoms ones here.
Yeah, I did find one that had the hard, but that was actually really expensive, and I was like, I don't know if anybody wants it or not.
That's the thing about stretch goals. You gotta make them cheap. You gotta make them really cheap, but at the same time, they've got to be something like, I'd like to have that.
Yeah.
You got the headless.
Well, and I think that particular one, I wanted to do it as a everybody gets it, and I can only do everybody gets it if it's the bendable one. I can't do everybody
exactly.
Gets it.
How'd you come up with your with your company logo here, the Headless Gnomes imprint?
Oh, the name or the logo?
Both.
Okay, so the name, and I really should do this more, but for whatever reason, I don't do a lot of those. Like, oh, let's just write down all the words that come to me, and then anyways. But this was one of those. So I had just a bunch of things that because I write, speculative fiction as well. So I'm like, okay, I want to kind of have it evoke a little bit of horror, a little bit of, fantasy. It maybe doesn't quite evoke the sci-fi as much, but there's a limit to what you can, put in one little thing. And most of the time I have a little bit of humor myself, not every time, but most of the time. So I kind of felt apropos.
Yeah.
Joel Rodriguez did my logo, the text logo. And then, so this is like the gnomes are on top of my logo because normally they're not in the logo. But then I had Michael Abstracto who also did that sticker, with the wine. He did the wine sticker. He drew up my character. So I did do a little character, profiles for them basically. And one of these days I keep telling people I'm going to write stories about them and I haven't done it yet, but so one day I will, someday.
I thought maybe you had an accident in the backyard with a weed whacker and some garden gnomes, and they just went and oh look, headless gnomes. Hey, what a great idea for a comic book.
That would definitely happen if I had some though, because my dogs would knock them over, and then
they'll make a great origin story for their own comic book. They're like the Toy Story things that only come alive at night, but they've had their heads knocked off.
Yeah.
So they're the headless gnomes of the garden. You got the you can get postcard, you can get custom letters.
Yeah, you can make me do more work.
Yes, you're definitely doing that. You got some mini prints here. A lot of stuff is we've already seen the physical copies, the digital copies.
Yeah. Options.
You're doing resin pendants. Come on. Okay. You're on issue 2.
I'm not doing the pendants myself. I decided, I was like, I could probably figure this out, but oh my gosh, I don't want to. Somebody else is doing them for me.
Okay. A lot of options. Focus on the book. Focus on the book for the first arc. And then when everybody loves your character, that's when you come in and get all this stuff. Although
I have had people come up and get the pendants and get nothing else. I'm like,
I'm just a cat lover. I don't care about your book.
Yeah.
I just want to. Well, okay. So you're going to conventions then with this too? Then.
I went to a couple, not a lot, because I don't have anything that I can't get a hotel at. That I don't have to get a hotel at. Basically, I haven't gone to anything that I need to fly to, but it's it still kind of racks up having to get the hotels and whatnot. Yeah. So I've done a couple. Hopefully, I'll do a couple next year. Eventually, hopefully, it'll work out where it's more worth it to go to more. But right now we're doing a few until that works out. So
it's an experience, especially when you're on the other side of the table at one.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of sitting there.
I was kind of hoping to go to one as an attendee before going back tabling, because of the long COVID break. But it didn't end up happening.
Yeah, you've got to go to one as an attendee.
Well, I mean,
and
I have been to one as an attendee, but not since before COVID. And it was
okay.
a while before COVID. I was supposed to go to WonderCon in 2020. So
Yeah, this
Yeah.
didn't happen. They're back though. The cons are back. I've been to a couple of different ones now this past year, and not as a vendor. They were just I was an attendee at Northwest Arkansas NWA Con, and then I was a panelist on several different panels at Arcon, but I didn't have I didn't get a table in time, so I couldn't take all the books and set stuff up there.
Right.
I'll make up for that next year. But tables are expensive. I looked at one. It was like little con. Yeah, it's like, yeah, give me a table. $300. I'll pass. I was like, I can't afford a $300 table to sell.
WonderCon was only a little bit more than that. So, and they're a pretty big con. No, I'm saying, but they were only a little bit more than that. So,
yeah, and it's
I wouldn't want to pay much for a small con.
You get all set up, you sit down, you watch people walk in, and here's how it is when you're in the seats of a table. Okay, your first day, you smile at everybody who walks by, you try to make eye contact without being too pushy.
Yeah.
And people walk by, they look, and they walk away because it's the first day of the con. They don't want to spend all their money and then find the one cool thing that's there, and then they say, I can't get it, I spent all my money. So there's nothing that you sell on Friday. Saturday, you start to have people who pass by you the first time. Yeah. Those are the people who don't care about money. They've got
they only came for Friday.
Yes, sometimes that does happen. My best day is Sunday. I used to be a table scavenger. I would like show up as a guest and a panelist and have my books with me, and I'd put the books out at the panels and I'd sell them at the panels and I'd pack them all up again. And then on Sunday, when people who were booksellers but only came for Friday and Saturday abandoned the table, then I would like quickly set up and just kind of sit there because Sunday's the day when it's only half a day. Everybody's like still walking around. They're like, oh crap, con's over. I still have money left. I've got to spend it. Here I am.
People have money left on Sunday? I always just go on the credit cards at that point.
Oh, well, yeah, if you've got to, you've got to. But, I always assumed that people went to a convention with a set amount of what they could spend.
I mean, I try.
If you brought your credit card with you, forget that.
Yeah. Should have left it at home.
Yeah. See, because you're going to break that rule by Friday night.
I wasn't that bad.
Well, that's good.
I didn't go over that early.
I would be terrible, especially if I hit down a good comic book back issue.
It was actually one benefit of being behind the table was I didn't have as much time to shop. So
there you go. Yeah, you can't get up and leave, especially if you don't have a co-host at your table to run things for you while you're gone. And here at the bottom of the add-ons, by the way, folks, this is the light that she just held up a little bit ago. $50 for this LED customized light. It's got the fang paw with the slash across his paw. There's a story here somewhere, folks. That's a plot point. In fact, that should be part of the light. So plot point. But it's kind of like it's Chekhov's gun in a certain way. So we've covered everything in the campaign, folks. In the chat, come on, you kind of let me down a little bit here tonight. Not one person could have thrown money on this one.
We're doing a drawing once we get to 200. Abby did a watercolor, so somebody's gonna get a watercolor.
Okay.
I don't know who, but somebody.
So you need 20 more backers.
Yeah.
And then the
which I know we'll get to, but if we get to it sooner, that's great. Because if you're number 201, you can't get that watercolor.
Yeah. So the lady who did this print right here, this cover, is doing a watercolor, and you might be the one out of the 200 people who wins the watercolor.
You do got to be at a physical tier, but everybody who's backed, will get a digital version. Everyone who's backed up to and including 200.
So the digital stretch goal for everybody, but somebody's going to get the original if you got a physical copy of something. Mm-hmm. So we need 20 more backers. We need $250 more. That's 10 people getting look
catch up tier. So, oh no, less than that. I guess at 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, around there.
Here
I can
we
do
go.
math sometimes.
I can't, unless it's really super easy or I have a calculator.
Yeah.
So where's that? Where's
the catch-up tier is 25.
Yeah. And it's like, damn you, Kickstarter, for having 2 elevator bars. Always gets me. So they're long. Okay. Physical print edition catch-up tier. Get issues 0, 1, and 2, plus all those cool digital add-ons that are going to come with it, plus the stretch goals that you're going to get. $25. 10 of you do the $25 tier, and this campaign will be successfully funded, and then it's just a coast for LK from here on to the end of the week.
As it gets closer and closer, I'm refreshing more, and I'm like, I gotta stop refreshing.
Yeah. I mean, if you're refreshing a Kickstarter page, then you're really nervous because, like I said, they're self-refreshing.
Sometimes it takes longer though than like if I refresh it.
Yeah, because sometimes somebody backs, and it's going to take a little bit for them to process and get the money in. But LK, I'm sorry I didn't get anybody for you tonight. I
you're all good.
Now we do get a lot more
strong arm someone.
Replays. Somebody will. I'll go out and I'll pin them down and get their wallet out. But we do get a lot of replay on the shows. That's because podcasting is a competitive thing at the 8 p.m. Eastern time because everybody's on. So it's like, what do I watch? Right. And if it's like somebody people know, they're going to watch that before they come here. I've been doing this for 7 years now. Wow. And it's funny because I've got friends who got into it after I did, and I watched them come up, and I watched the shows that they did, and one of them has got like 150,000 subscribers now and is doing like 3 videos a day. I'm like, did you quit your job or something? Because I couldn't do 3 videos a day and still get everything done.
Yeah. Oh man.
There's life to be lived and all that good stuff. Anyhow.
Even with like limited editing, that's.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I know he sets them all up on a timer too. So I'm like, no, that's too much work. Anyhow, LK, as much as I wanted to get you over the goal tonight, even closer to it, I failed. But I'm going to be continuing to keep an eye on this project. It is saved in my list here. So I'll be following it through to the end. Thank you so much for reaching out to us and agreeing to come on the show to show this to the folks in our audience. When 3 comes out, I do hope that you'll reach back out to us, and we'll talk some more about that. And by that point, I will know more about Fang. And I just looked at this bloody little kerchief that he's got tied around his neck. Things keep jumping out at me that I missed before. But we will talk about Fang again in the future, I hope.
Yes, definitely.
Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight and listening. We don't have a show without you. I'm just a podcast falling in the woods if you're not listening. So we're glad you're here. And as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.